There is no doubt that Disney's The Owl House has pushed the boundaries of inclusivity and representation in media. While being a kids' show, it managed to be extremely diverse in its characters. And yet, it never pandered, it never preached. In my opinion, having forced diversity is just as bad, if not worse, than having none at all. Managing it is a tough line to walk, but it's a line that the Owl House walks gracefully. First, we must talk about the queer inclusivity present in the Owl House. One of the things that popularized the Owl House is the relationship of Lumity. With the episode Enchanting Grom Fright, the Owl House's viewership grew substantially. And since then, we've gotten even more queer characters. We have Rain Whispers as non-binary, Hunter who is bisexual, and plenty of others in the background, like V, who I'm dressed up as. Hi, it's Editing G. Sorry for no costume. Best I can do is rainbow. Rainbow. Uh, Another very important LGBTQ character, the Collector, non-binary. Thought I should mention him. But for the most part, we don't get the queer characters mentioned outright. It is never stated in the show that Hunter is bisexual or that Rain is non-binary, but it is there, which makes it count. Rain is always referred to as they, so we, the audience, can understand that they are non-binary, and with Hunter, you can just figure it out. The writers aren't taking every moment possible to say that characters are queer, and they're not just saying it after the fact on Twitter 5 years later. Oh, J.K. Rowling. Queerness is essential to the characters, and it isn't the reason for the show, though. There isn't any queer baiting here. The queer characters not only fit in the story, but fit into the universe as well. I think the reason the Owl House could have all these queer characters and not have it feel forced is the universe, though. The majority of the Owl House takes place in the Boiling Isles, a magical realm with hundreds of different species of intellectual life treated equally. All demons are equal, and none are more equal than others, unlike the animal one. If this universe, you can accept people of different species as equal, and they're just as human as you, then why can't you learn to live with the sexuality of others? Instead of most shows where you need to abide by our modern society to make it feel real, or else it just won't fit in, here, they can make a society that is truly diverse and inclusive without feeling out of place. But the Owl House diversity doesn't just extend to queer characters, but also with disabilities. Our main character, Luz, has ADHD. Another main character has a curse in Ida, equivalent to an incurable disease. We have a character with autism in Gus, and just a bunch of characters with a lifetime's worth of trauma. The Owl House doesn't only show off the trendy and inclusivity with the queer community, but we also see some of the more forgotten types of minorities. We see the dark side of being inclusive. Well, I don't want to say it like that, but the things that are much less understood and much less covered. We see the darker sides of these disabilities, but also positive angles. With Ida, we see how the curse negatively affects her life, but we also see how she learns to live with it, and in the end accepts it, becoming Harpy Ida. Luz doesn't fit in the human world, but she learns to accept herself, just like Gus. Someone who felt lonely due to his autism isolating him, he makes friends who love his company. Hi, it's me, Editing G again. One more thing I want to mention. Willow, she's a plus body size. She's bigger than usual, than most people, but she's still treated like a beautiful person. She falls in love. Again, that's another inclusive thing. Bigger body types aren't always included and especially aren't given romantic arcs, but her and Hunter become a thing. Another example I want to point out. As previously mentioned, the Boiling Isles doesn't have racism or discrimination, so you can count that as discrimination. You can count that as inclusion as well, and in the end, there is no discrimination of any sort in the Boiling Isles or the Owl House as a whole. But why does this inclusion work so well here in the Owl House? Why doesn't it stick out like a sore thumb, and why doesn't it feel like pandering? This was the question that had me stuck, but I think I figured out the answer in my recent Season 2 analysis video. Check that out. Belos' whole story arc throughout the show is about humanity, and that is one of the show's main themes. Belos claims to fight for humanity, but on his quest, he loses every ounce of humanity that he has. He tries to prosecute the witches because they are not human, but they are far more human than he is. In Owl House, humanity doesn't refer to the trait of being human, but the trait of having a soul, having ethics, morals, having love. The show is about accepting yourself, and the villain is trying to destroy anything he deems unnatural. Bellows is the enemy of all things that are inclusive. What we, the audience, deem as inclusive, Bellows sees as inhuman. It is this battle that is at the core of the Owl House. We are never just seeing the battle of Bellows versus witches, good versus evil. We saw the battle of inclusive versus those who discriminate. The heroes are those who are diverse. The villain is the one who tries to stomp out diversity. And it is this battle that allows the Owl House's diversity. Without this battle, the show wouldn't work, or at least wouldn't be the show that we know and recognize today, and would probably be remembered much less. So that is why the Owl House is diverse, and why that diversity works so well, and why it doesn't work in so many other shows. Here, it is an intentional part of the story Dana Terrace was trying to tell, a key part of the character arcs, the show's themes, and the main plot seen throughout all 3 seasons. Now, you don't need to take the show with this point of view. You can just say it's about accepting yourself, but with diversity, it kind of goes hand in hand, and most people will see it as that. As far as analyzing the queer characters, the minorities, the disabilities, I'll let someone more qualified than me talk about that. There is a lot to explore with that for someone much more well informed than I am. What I can say though is I know that Owl House has helped plenty of people accept themselves, so if that's all we got out of the show, that would be enough. Anyways though, that's all I have to say. What do you think? Can the show do you can you can you think of a show that handles diversity better than the Owl House? Do you have any personal experiences with the Owl House that you'd like to share? All that and more, leave in the comments down below. Happy Pride Month. Haley's on It is the Owl House's replacement, literally airing exactly 2 months after the Owl House ended. I'm serious, Owl House ended April 8th. This came out June 8th. If you want to see how the show holds up, check out this video where I discuss it. To see more videos about Disney animation and just other animated shows in general, I recently did an Avatar video. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I have been Fictional Fanatics, and until the next one, bye!